At Loyola, we pride ourselves on putting out really good lawyers, particularly in the criminal justice system. And the way that happens is that they have role models. And that's who's going to speak to us today. That tradition was begun, and I thank Steve Cooley when he was district attorney, and continues on to Jackie Lacey today. And also it began with the prior U.S. attorneys and will continue with Andre Birotte, although he won't be with us next year because, as you know, he'll be wearing the black robes. But let me start out by introducing the Honorable Andre Birotte Jr. Andre Birotte has been a good friend of Loyola Law School for years, a leader in the criminal justice community. He has served, frankly, in every conceivable position in the criminal justice system. He has been a public defender. He has been in private practice. He has been an assistant U.S. attorney. He has been the Inspector General of the LAPD. And in 2010, he was appointed by President Obama as the U.S. Attorney for the Central District of California. And as you heard mentioned, just last week, President Obama nominated Mr. Birotte for the United States District Court. For those of you who know Andre Birotte, frankly, you could not think of a better selection for our bench. He is absolutely committed to serving justice in every single case. He has reached out to our community, all the parts of our community, to say, how can we serve you? He is a man of integrity and dedication, and he leads a remarkable office. I think the legal term to describe Mr. Andre Birotte is, he's a mensch. Please join me in welcoming the Honorable Andre Birotte.
Good morning, everyone. I will make my comments brief, but I just wanted to start off by saying, quite frankly, when we're talking about role models, in all candor, the real role model, really, in my view, is Laurie Levenson. I've known Laurie since I was in law school, and I worship basically the ground that she walks on. She tells me to jump, and I say how high. And so definitely, I want to give kudos to you for once again putting on a great conference year after year after year, and certainly to Dean Gold and Judge Fidler. You have certainly left a significant imprint here in Los Angeles. I always love coming to Fidler every year because it's just a great opportunity to get folks together at all different levels, federal, state, county, local, to discuss issues. And I think, quite frankly, it's probably one of the best criminal institutes that I'm aware of, certainly in this region, if not the country. Where else can you get such an established all-star lineup, if you will, of criminal practitioners to discuss the emerging topics in criminal law? And so, again, I can't thank you guys enough for doing what you do today. I certainly want to congratulate all the awardees that are going to, some have already received awards today, individuals that have had a profound impact on me. Janice has been sort of a legend since I was a baby public defender, with her going on to help start up and ultimately lead the Federal Public Defender's Office. Max has been a legend in the DA's office, trying the biggest and baddest cases, certainly putting his imprint on the county, dealing with rooting out corruption, and I'm certain that Max will continue to do the same as Inspector General for the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. Certainly, Rick Druyan. Rick, in my view, is one of the unsung heroes, if you will, of our area. He does his work diligently, with intellect and integrity beyond compare. Despite his one lapse in judgment in hiring me as an assistant United States attorney, his record is unblemished, and he's gone on to do fabulous things. And then last but not least, as a point of personal privilege, John Meggs. I don't think John is here now, and some of you have heard me tell the story, but I think it's worth saying again. In many ways, I would not be here but for John Meggs. Without going into the details, I was introduced to John as a first-year law student. John didn't know me from Adam. I walked into his courtroom when he was then a commissioner in the Inglewood Municipal Court, and John put his arm around me and was my mentor from that day forward. And there hasn't been a decision that I've made in my career without talking to him. He is like family to me, and so it's really an honor and really special to see that he is getting honored and recognized today, because I know I am just one of many in this region that have been the benefit of his tutelage throughout the years. What I thought I might do this morning is just briefly talk to you about some of the issues and challenges, quite frankly, that have gone on in our office over the last year. And it has been a wild ride, to say the least. Last year was a tough time with our budget. We went through sequestration, hiring freeze, and ultimately a government shutdown, where I had to basically tell 70 or so lawyers in our, 70 or so personnel in our civil division to go home because the government had been shut down. Our criminal staff was reduced to the bare bones just to continue doing the work that we do. We have not been able to hire over the last 2 years, although that has changed just recently. So that has been a struggle for our office, both in getting the work done each and every day, but also just quite frankly from a morale standpoint, not having the resources available to do the work that we do to represent the largest judicial district in the country. But I like to think that in spite of that, quite frankly, our office has done a fairly good job in responding and reacting during difficult times. Meeting particularly the priorities within the Department of Justice. So whether it's national security, which is obviously our #1 priority, we've had a number of successful prosecutions and convictions and ongoing cases involving individuals that seek to do harm in this country. We've had some pleas of individuals who have indicated or pled guilty to providing material support to terrorist organizations. We have an ongoing criminal prosecution involving the individual that walked into LAX and shot and killed the first ever TSA officer, Gerardo Hernandez. We have another pending case in Riverside, a huge case involving multiple defendants that were in and out, taking a bus, at least the government alleges, and a train to Mexico to head to Pakistan to fight and get training so they could come back and do harm against the United States. Our gang work continues to be very active. We've got a number of convictions utilizing various tools in our toolbook relative to protecting our communities. So whether it's the Pueblo Bishop's Blood Gang, a gang that wreaked havoc in South Los Angeles, whether it's teaming up with the DA's office in Montebello, prosecuting a number of individuals that are wreaking havoc in that community, utilizing RICO statutes and civil rights statutes to target gangs like the Sousa 13 and Compton 155, two gangs that specifically targeted, and one of their credos, if you will, was to get rid of African Americans in their neighborhood. Those kind of cases, I think, serve an important message as well. In the public corruption arena, we've been very proactive. You'll hear today from a number of personnel from our office, Brandon Fox, Liz Rhodes, specifically dealing with some corruption cases, whether it is building inspectors, city council members, mayors, law enforcement officers, and other public officials. I think we've been very proactive. I call the public corruption section our little engine that keeps going and going. It's a small section of about 9 or 10 individuals. They could use more people. I'm sure Lawrence will probably hold me to that. The chief of the section, you're not getting rid of our bodies now, but they have done a phenomenal job doing that work each and every day. And also, you're going to be hearing from other prosecutors in our office about some of the work that they do, whether it's Wes Shue or Tracy Wilkinson in our cyber and intellectual property sections, and the tools that they're using dealing with sextortionists and other individuals that prey on vulnerable victims in the internet. I think those are just signs, quite frankly, of the kind of work that we have done during difficult budget times and the kind of work that we will continue to do. But the reality of it is that the work that I've just described, and it's just a brief thumbnail sketch, only happens because of the cooperation and collaboration with our partners at every level. The reality of it is we cannot do this work without the partners that we have. And so I feel very fortunate in our district. I often tell folks back at Maine Justice, we're very fortunate that we all play well in the sandbox together. We do a number of significant cases. I just mentioned one with Jackie, with the city attorney's office. Everyone utilizing the various tools that they have in their respective toolkits to do the work that we need to do each and every day. And so that work, I think, is going to continue as we move forward this year. As we begin this year, we got some good news. The budget was resolved. We are now in a position to hire. We are actively conducting interviews as we speak, trying to get some more assistant United States attorneys, so some resources are on the way, and I hope that that will result in more activity, more great cases that we try to do here in our district. And so that's really just a thumbnail sketch of what's going on here in our office. Just want to conclude by just again emphasizing the importance of an institute like this. I mean, just looking around the room and seeing all these faces from various areas of criminal practice, I mean, you just don't see this anywhere in the country. You know, in my job, I've had the opportunity to travel around the United States and talk to my colleagues. You don't see this around the country. And I would say to the young warriors that are out here, this is your opportunity, my friend. Become a sponge. Learn from the experts that you're going to hear about today. I know, is Steve Clymer here?
He's coming.
Oh, he's coming. You know, I mean, you've got some phenomenal talent that you're going to hear from today. Become a sponge for knowledge and also get out and meet these individuals. These are the people that can be your mentors and help you as you move on to your career. Certainly when I came out here in 1980s, oh God, a long time ago, I didn't know anyone in this state, quite frankly. And if it wasn't for getting out there and interacting with practitioners and letting them know my interests, then I don't think I would have gotten to this point. And so it's something like this that is your form and opportunity to do that. And so, again, I just want to thank you for the few minutes that I've had to talk with you today. Laurie, I love you, love you, love you. And you know that I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to be here today. And again, this institute really is something that, you know, again, I just hope you all recognize and realize the importance and the significance of the stuff that you are receiving here today. So with that, thank you very much, and I appreciate your time. Good luck and have fun today.